Close your eyes and picture a horse. Got it? Maybe it's brown, maybe it's running, maybe you can see the field it's standing in. Now, I want you to understand something. When I close my eyes and try to do exactly the same thing, there's nothing. Not a grayed out shape, not a faint outline, not a shadow of a horse. Absolute, total blackness. I have a thing called aphantasia. It means that I have no mind's eye whatsoever. I literally cannot visualize anything when I'm conscious and awake. And I'm a hypnotherapist. Now, before you think that's a problem, I want to show you why it's actually the best thing that actually ever happened in my practice or to my practice. And more importantly, why what I'm about to tell you might explain why hypnotherapy hasn't worked for you or someone else you know. My name is Paul, and I've been a hypnotherapist for over 8 years. I work primarily with high achievers, executives, entrepreneurs, founders, people who are successful on paper but find themselves stuck in patterns they can't seem to break out of on their own. Anxiety, procrastination, self-sabotage, confidence that collapses at exactly the wrong moment. I stumbled into this career completely by accident, which is a story for another video, but the short version is a personal trainer invited me to a free weekend, and by Sunday afternoon I'd watched a woman who couldn't look at a photograph of a worm actually pick one up in her bare hands and carry it gently across a path. I thought, bloody hell, I've got a superpower. Today I want to talk about something that the hypnotherapy world doesn't really like to admit. Something that's been frustrating me for years, and it's this. Most hypnotherapists are lying to you about visualization. Not deliberately, but the lie is built into how they were trained. Here's what virtually every hypnotherapist will tell you, including the ones with decades of experience. Everyone can visualize in some way, shape or form. They say it because the methods they use depend on it. Guided imagery, picture yourself on a beach, imagine a safe place, visualize your goal as if it's already happened. Now, all of this assumes that you can see something when you close your eyes. And for most people, yes, they can. Maybe it's vivid, maybe it's faint, but there's something there. But here's what nobody kind of tells you. Roughly 1 to 5% of the population has aphantasia, completely unable to see anything in the mind's eye. Nothing, nada, ever. There's a much larger group, probably between 20 to 30% of people who are somewhere on the spectrum. They get something, but it's so dim, so vague, so unreliable, like traditional visualization-based techniques barely touch them. So when those people sit down with a hypnotherapist who tells them to picture a peaceful garden, they end up sitting there with nothing, and they think they're broken. They think they can't be hypnotized. They think hypnotherapy just isn't for them. And they're wrong. The hypnotherapist just doesn't know what they're doing. I know this because I am one of those people, and I've built an entire practice without visualization once. When I discovered that I had aphantasia, I had a choice. I could try to force visualization techniques to work on myself and my clients anyway, like most of the industry does, and just hope for the best. Or I could find a method that doesn't need it at all. I found conversational hypnotherapy, specifically a method called advanced conversational hypnosis. No close your eyes and picture a beach, no guided imagery or scripts, no asking someone to visualize their future self standing on a podium. Instead, it works through conversation, through the words you use, the patterns in how you think, and direct communication with the unconscious mind, which, by the way, doesn't actually think in pictures anyway. It thinks in feelings, patterns, and associations. Here's what that unlocked for me. Here's what that unlocked for me. Because I couldn't rely on the standard toolkit, I had to actually understand why the unconscious mind does what it does. I had to understand the mechanics of behavior, not just the scripts. And that made me significantly better at this than I would have been otherwise. Let me give you an example. I worked with a woman who had been smoking for 30 years or more. She was overweight, unhealthy, her words, not mine, and she tried everything. Patches, willpower, cold turkey. A visualization-based approach would have had her imagining herself slim and healthy and cigarette-free. Picture the life you want. Classic stuff. But when we actually worked with our unconscious mind through conversation, not imagery, we found something completely different. The smoking wasn't an addiction in the conventional sense. The weight wasn't about food. Both of them were a shield. She'd been in a series of deeply damaging narcissistic relationships, and her unconscious mind had concluded, logically, protectively, brilliantly, that if she made herself unattractive and unapproachable, she'd be safe from that kind of person again. Now, once we understood that, and once we'd worked with her unconscious mind to find a better way to stay safe, one that didn't require destroying her health, everything changed. Within 3 or 4 sessions, she'd quit smoking, she'd joined the gym, she'd started cooking healthily and actually enjoying it. She sent me a photograph of a beautiful meal with a bottle of water and said, "What have you done to me?" No visualization, no picturing her ideal future, just a real conversation with the part of her mind that was running the program. So, what does this mean for you? If you've tried hypnotherapy and it didn't work, or if you've tried it on yourself through YouTube sleep hypnosis or guided meditations and felt nothing, there are 3 possible reasons. Number 1, you might have aphantasia or be low on the visualization spectrum, and if the technique depended on you seeing something in your mind's eye, it was never going to work. Now, that's not a failure from hypnotherapy or the hypnotherapist as such. It's a failure of that particular method. Now, the good news is that there are methods that don't need it. Number 2, this is quite an important one. The issue wasn't what it appeared to be. Like my client who thought she had a smoking problem, she didn't. She had a safety problem. The unconscious mind is incredibly literal and incredibly creative. It will do whatever it believes to keep you safe, even if that thing is slowly killing you. If you treat the symptom without understanding the program running underneath it, you'll be fighting the same battle forever. And number 3, confidence matters more than credentials. This is another unpopular opinion in my industry, but I'm going to say it anyway. I've met hypnotherapists with 20 years of experience and walls full of qualifications who couldn't help a client to feel calm because they weren't confident themselves. Clients feel your confidence or the absence of it. The unconscious mind is very, very good at picking up that signal and all kinds of signals, really. A confident hypnotherapist who understands the basics will outperform an uncertain one with every certificate going. Now, I started this video by asking you to picture a horse, whether you saw a vivid galloping animal or absolutely nothing at all. The point is the same. Your mind is doing something. There are patterns running underneath your unconscious awareness, running underneath your conscious awareness that are shaping every decision you make, every habit that you can't break, every ambition that you keep almost reaching, and then somehow you pull back from. Hypnotherapy done properly with a method that actually suits how your mind works can change those patterns, sometimes in a single session, sometimes in 3 or 4. I work with high achievers who know something is in the way, but can't quite put the finger on what. If that's you, the link below will take you to a free consultation call. I call it the decision reset call, where we figure out exactly what's running the program and whether I'm the right person to help you change it. If this video was useful, please subscribe, because I'm going to be making a lot more of these. Next week, I want to talk about why procrastination isn't laziness and why every productivity hack you've ever tried has failed. Because it's not about time management, it's about what your unconscious mind is protecting you from. I'll see you then.